Trade Authority on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, is moving forward. On Thursday, U.S. lawmakers reached an agreement on legislation that would give President Obama fast-track trade authority to negotiate future trade deals, including the highly controversial TPP deal. The TPP, or Southern Hemisphere Asian Free Trade Agreement, SHAFTA, is being negotiated among the U.S. and 11 other Pacific nations. And like so many other so-called free trade deals, would ship American jobs overseas, do untold damage to our economy, and give corporations even more power than voters.
Hello and good day. I'm Maddie Harlan. On tonight's show, we take a deep look into the heart of government, known as the United States of America, Incorporated, lifting the veil on the controversial Trans-Pacific Partnership Act, exposing the corporate government and what it means for all humanity. Let's get rolling. What is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and why is it so secretive? The Trans-Pacific Partnership is a massive free trade agreement that is currently being negotiated behind closed doors by top unnamed government officials from the United States and 11 other countries that border the rim of the Pacific Ocean. Those other countries include Australia, Brunei, Canada, Chile, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. Negotiations were started over 5 years ago. As to the secrecy of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, there is not much that can be researched into the bill itself, as I can state for certain that the public, Congress, and the press cannot see the draft of the TPP text whatsoever. Although there are more than 600 official corporate trade advisors that have direct access to the bill itself, and the Obama administration plans to sign the TPP by the end of 2015 without any oversight from the public or Congress, the Obama administration should hold transparency as his #1 goal, as it is the key in ethics to do so. Whom and what will it affect? What this means to you and your American citizenship? The TPP strokes a broad brush over all industries, such as overbearing corporate attacks on smaller industries, offshoring of U.S. jobs, leaving our families out to depend solely on government handouts and entitlement programs, the safety of our food, by allowing companies such as Monsanto to regulate itself with no oversight, public health, by allowing major corporations to alter our air and spray chemicals to test on the people of Earth unknowingly, or pump poison into our vein with mandatory vaccines, again with no oversight. Internet freedom. Everything you type, read, follow, like, dislike, and even the websites you visit will all be cataloged, all by 1 or 2 corporations that will relay everything back to the government for review assessment. Financial regulations will be set by the highest corporation, again with no oversight committee, making sure the natural person is not in harm like they did with the bottomry bonds in the 1913 Federal Reserve Act, turning the natural person into a revenue source. Environmental issues will be created, maintained, and acted upon for the earning of revenue, and any time any corporation deems it necessary, like the global warming hoax that has been exposed in the countless other environmental organizations that never fix anything besides their own checking account, funded by the monies you donated. Workers' rights will be mandated solely by corporations, leaving all human rights and fairness in the dust, as proven by current third world countries that mandate slavery of its people and the TPP signs off as acceptable and productive behavior. Public services will forever be in changing flux. The corporate military will take over law enforcement altogether. Costs of electricity, fuel, healthcare, and the like will skyrocket with no oversight, thus making the services you receive worse and forever in decline. The Trans-Pacific Partnership affects each and every one of us, right down to your own dinner table. With issues being discussed such as these, how can we be secure knowing that the top officials in the White House have the people's best interests at heart when they deny us any access to let the public and/or the press ask any questions whatsoever? The government does not have any right, under any law, that grants them the privilege to conduct backroom deals of any kind, shape, or form. The government was created by the people, for the people. The government is to answer to the people. To hide any legislation that does not deal directly upon national security is treasonous. All acts should always be 100% transparent, so the people have their say heard. Remember, this is a republic. What is your state governor there for? To represent the people from their own individual state, or to suck up to the corporate teat? When they are forbidden to read a piece of legislation that could become law, we have straight-up tyranny, with long-term ramifications, both great and small, that will spread out through every corner of this world. I ask again, how can any elected official accurately and confidently vote on any bill, act, or amendment if they don't even know what any of the specific wordings that are being used? I will tell you why, and this is the lifting of the veil.
Ah, the government. It loves you and wants to keep you safe and well. It even wants to make paying taxes, fines, and court costs easier for you. How? Well, you'll need to meet your straw man. He was born the same day you were. He looks like you, has the same name, and lives in your house, but you never knew he existed. You will have even paid his parking tickets or taxes. The worst part? He's been dead from day one. From every birth certificate, a legal personality, or legal fiction, is created with the same name to confuse little old you into thinking it's you. So, there is a human you and a paper you, or as it's commonly known, a straw man. So when it seems like government officials, court clerks, or the police are speaking English, they aren't. They're speaking legalese, designed to make you agree to verbal and written contracts without even knowing about it, all spun from Black's Law Dictionary. For example, when the police say, "Do you understand?" you'll say, "Yes." What they are really saying is, "Do you stand under our authority?" Oops-a-daisy, you just created a verbal contract with them. Oh, you clever government. Did you know that whenever you register something, you are handing over title to the person you register it with? That's right. Whenever you register something with the government, they assume it belongs to them. Registered your car? Super! Now you are the registered keeper of your vehicle, and the government can crush it when you don't pay your, straw man's taxes. Expecting a new bundle of joy? Well then you need to register your little darling with a birth certificate. Then they can start the process all over again and create a new straw man for your little one. Isn't that great? So when Junior grows up, he'll be able to generate revenue just like you have. When you notify on your baby by signing the birth certificate, Your child becomes a ward of state, and if the government doesn't like what you're doing, they'll assume it's okay to take the child away, or make new rules for things they don't like. Not enough school? Smacking your child? Shouting too loudly? Then it's off to social services for the little one. When you get a bill, it's sent to you, but belongs to your straw man, not you. That's why bills, fines, and summons start with Mr., Mrs., or Ms. Sometimes you'll see your surname in capitals, just like on a gravestone. That's because your straw man is dead, and just a silly piece of paper, created before you could comprehend or even consent to it. When you go to court, you represent your straw man, so you, the human, take on any costs, fees, taxes, and fines involved for the straw man. The human you doesn't even need to pay them. But you made a contract with the court by appearing on behalf of your legal personality or straw man, just like the government knew you would. Confused? Well, don't worry. The government doesn't want you to know anyway. If you knew, you'd stop paying things like council tax and parking tickets. Because when you go to court, you are representing your straw man. You are you, alive and made of flesh and blood. Your straw man, or legal personality, is a piece of paper created from your birth certificate. And you think it's you. What a silly Billy. Would you like to know more? Well, then go over to tpuc.org. Get up, get informed, and get real.
The reason why Congress can remain secretive and pass backroom deals with no oversight from the public is because the form of government you had when our founding fathers originally signed the Constitution of the United States into law, giving the people a republic form of government that was created for the people, by the people. Even while our republic was being formed, it was usurped right under the noses of the people, replacing their republic form of government with a corporate entity known as a democracy, which plays ball by a totally separate rulebook. Democracy is a mob rule mentality. The majority of the vote wins. Throughout history, we are warned by political philosophers and political leaders that democracy leads to socialism. From there, it naturally turns into a dictatorship, then straight forward into communism through private acts and private laws. The 14th Amendment, signed by America's 16th President, Abraham Lincoln, did not end slavery. He, in fact, made us all slaves under corporate law, renaming and representing the human being into an artificial person, also known as a corporate entity, under the color of law, thus placing every single real flesh and blood person under private acts and private laws, also known as admiralty maritime law, which is also known as commerce and navigation. You are no longer the people. You are now commercial vessels represented solely as means of revenue sources and have no real rights whatsoever. Only corporate statutes, codes, and laws apply. Through diligent and tiresome research, we come to find, when we look at the USC United States Code, Title 28, subsection 300215 ABC, states unequivocally that the United States is a corporation and not a country, and the people does not include U.S. citizens. Since the United States is a corporation, and its subjects are referred to as U.S. citizens, and they are known as artificial persons called corporations, who exactly is our government officials representing? They are clearly not for the people. So when we see this corporate unity with the name Trans-Pacific Partnership, we can deduct that it is for corporations, by corporations, and is clearly not meant for the betterment of humankind. Through democracy, Congress, with other corporate entities, have usurped the people's constitution and literally have the rights to rewrite any piece of legislation they would like, with or without your permission. The people have been fooled into believing that the United States government is a democracy that we chose back in 1871 rather than a republic, and that we can voice our discontent through the imaginary world of voting the lesser of the two evils, red versus blue gang mentality. And as you all have observed, nothing ever changes, no matter who you think you elected, as it is all under corporate powers with their laws, statutes, and codes. In the end, it is all about the rights and privileges of corporations, not humankind. What will the TPP, if passed, do to our country's laws and regulations? Humankind will remain involuntary slaves as corporate vessels with absolutely no individual rights as a natural person. Your world will consist of rules and regulations, statutes and codes, all springing up under the corporation known as the United States of America, enabling private acts and private laws that humanity will be crushed under. The illusion of government ownership comes from years of repeating that our government is a democracy rather than a republic. Our founding fathers, as well as other renowned individuals, knew of the horrible outcome for the flesh and blood, real natural person, if they were ever fooled into believing that democracy was for the betterment of humankind. Let us go over some of the differences of what a republic compared to a democracy looks like, so we can observe why it was so easy to trick the average person, even in the minds of modern-day man. Republic versus democracy. This is how a corporatocracy creates the illusion of government ownership, domination, and control by press ganging up from the law of the land into the law of the sea. Republic, law of the land, common sense. Democracy, amorality equals law of the sea. Republic, public policy by common law. Democracy, public policy equals by statute. Republic, jurisdiction, land, people. Democracy, jurisdiction, sea, citizens. Republic, people equals flesh and blood souls. Democracy, citizens equals legal fictions. Republic, the people protected by Bill of Rights. Democracy, citizens equals body of Constitution. Republic, written, proper noun names and places. Democracy, all capitals, corporations. Republic, you equals people, plural, a people, singular. Democracy, you equals person equals legal fiction. Republic, you reside in your body. Democracy, you reside in the sea. Republic, republic equals commonwealth of all people. Democracy equals mob rule. Republic, judges equals oath arbitrators. Democracy, judges equals administrative. Republic, peace officers, oath to the people. Democracy, law enforcement officers. Republic, vote equals recorded by referendum. Democracy, vote equals registration. Republic, referendum equals answer to the people. Democracy, registration equals the crown. Republic, ownership equals people equals 1955 Freedom Charter. Democracy, ownership equals global elite. Republic, the people are the creditors. Democracy, citizens are debitors. Republic, courts equals trial by jury. Democracy, courts equals commercial. Is America the country you love over and done with? From the letters of Marquis up through the Declaration of Independence, to the Federalist Papers, to the Articles of Confederation, the United States was a style and or change of events. It was never considered a landmass. U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17. To exercise exclusive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square, as may, by a cession of particular states and the acceptance of Congress, become the seat of government of the United States, and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the states in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings. According to the Constitution, the territory of the United States of America includes the 50 sovereign states, each of which has their own constitution and jurisdiction. The geographical territory of sovereign jurisdictions does not overlap. The territory of the United States of America is different from the territory of the United States government. The territorial jurisdiction of the United States government only extends to 10 miles square, to places purchased and to property owned. This would include territories and possessions temporarily acquired through treaties that are not part of the 50 states. Persons who are under this exclusive jurisdiction are citizens of the United States government and of the state where they reside. This is a little confusing because Washington, D.C. is considered a state, and the possessions, like Puerto Rico, are considered states. There are political states, but are not part of the 50 sovereign states. As we research, we come to find that they, the government, are playing a game of illusion and deceit. There is a clear separation from what corporations are and what a natural person means, and it is also plainly evident that the United States government is representing corporations and not real people. The United States corporate government can only deal with fictions in commerce and navigation, by which private acts and private laws will reign supreme throughout the world under one government, one people, one corporation, and one new world order. Corporations will dictate your every action. Things like what type of food you should eat, what types of medications you are required to take, what health care physicians you must see, what types of vaccines you are forced to take, how your children will be taught, and in what type of schools they will attend. The list literally goes on forever.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Do you want to be controlled? What can you do about it? It is time to take our own government back. We need to be responsible for ourselves and stop looking for others to take care of us. We need to take it upon ourselves the responsibilities we rely on government for. We don't need help feeding ourselves, and if you do, then learn to grow a garden. If meat is your thing, learn how to raise and care for livestock. Learn how to step away from entitlement pogroms that will only lead to your demise. Get out of the food stamp line, step off the welfare bus. Stop paying fraudulent taxes. Stop registering your children on the backs of bottomry bonds, also known as birth certificates. Stop registering your cars, trucks, bikes, and the like. Registering is all voluntary. But they, our governments and teachers, never tell you about that, do they? All of the things I mentioned are why the government is where it is. We consent unknowingly, due to sheer ignorance and cognitive dissonance in understanding, due to the fact of our own indoctrination and laziness. The Trans-Pacific Partnership will pass, and we, like I stated above, will be under an all-new world order that is run by corporations for corporations, and humankind will be forever enslaved as a natural resource for ill-gotten gains in revenue.